Thank you for staying with us. Another Nigerian territory is about to suffer the fate of Bakassi Peninsula, but the House of Representatives ad hoc committee on international boundary disputes has halted plans to cede Sina in Michika local government area of Adamawa State to the Republic of Cameroon. At an investigative hearing of the Nigeria-Cameroon boundary disputes, chairman of the committee, Benila, said demarcation of the boundary must be put on hold until the disputes are resolved. Asugo, tell us about this disputed territory.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, Nigeria borders Cameroon in several ways. And after the ICJ ruling on Bakassi, people were already thinking, I think the Cameroonians were thinking that they have a right, you know, to have some communities in Nigeria. But unfortunately, the ruling concerning Bakassi is different from whatever you are seeing in Adamawa. So, because this is more an international boundary dispute. The Bakassi zone was more about you have to take from Lake Chad down to Bakassi and see where Nigeria falls. And then for this Adamawa zone, it's quite different because the ruling, I think, does not affect that of Adamawa, but it affects more the one of Bakassi. And so what the committee is now saying is that they have to look at it in an holistic manner and see the communities that even fall into Cameroon. Because it's the left side, after that ruling, it's the left side that falls into Cameroon. If you go to, because I was in Obudu in 2019, there was a mountain, there's a particular mountain I walked into, and they were telling us, look at Cameroon, that sometimes they come to Nigeria territory because we don't have any, border post or anything. And that the Bakassi people, can't go into Cameroon because already the gendarmes are there. So there's a difference. So once you look at this other side, you are seeing Cameroon. But on the left-hand side, it's supposed to be the Nigerian side, the Nigerian territory. So these Sina people apparently have been having issues with the Cameroonians because I think it falls very close to the right-hand side, which is the Cameroonian side. But they are saying they are not Cameroonians, that they are part of Nigeria. So where this committee is now going to look at is how they can look at that ruling, the ICJ ruling, which many call it the watershed, ruling, and then be able to see how Nigeria is being divided from Cameroon so that we don't have our brothers in Cameroon when they are supposed to be in Nigeria. There was a dispute over, I remember when we had the issue about Atiku Abubakar not coming from Nigeria and all that. He was from Adamawa. So these are some of the issues that I think this committee will need to look at. What does the ICJ ruling entails? And then they will begin to look at the communities, because there are so many communities around that border town, that border area, the boundary area, that are very intertwined and linked. So if they are looking at it, they will be able to know that, okay, this one is Cameroon and this one is Nigeria. The funniest thing is that our own boundary part is not usually being manned by security forces. So that is the major problem. If we have opportunity of manning our own boundaries, I think all these issues will not be there, because once they say, okay, this is where the International Court of Justice have actually given us the opportunity to, this is Nigeria and this is Cameroon, we should be able to send troops immediately to guide that area. But the Cameroonians are doing that. And I don't know how they do it. They do it so easily. Even in Cameroon, in Bakassi area, they do it so easily. When once you go, you can't just enter into Cameroon like that from Bakassi. Yes.
At a lot.
Yeah.
Wale, since we took that decision for ceding Bakassi Peninsula as at that time, I think after that decision, we regretted it. And so many years after, they're still talking about that review. But since the federal government of Nigeria officially ceded that peninsula. So we shouldn't have a case that we are going to rush, to concede any part of our territory to.
I don't think any sovereign nation, will wish to cede any inch of its land voluntarily. And then when we lost Bakassi, I think it didn't go well with a lot of people, even some people in that territory. In this case of Adamawa, we also need to look at the problem historically. That area was under the Sokoto Caliphate. The jihad of 1804 to 1808 extended to the entire of Adamawa. So it was under the Caliphate rule until 1884, when during the Berlin Conference, that place was given to Germany. And from Germany, at the start of the First World War in 1914, the British invaded Adamawa from Nigeria, and then the French invaded Adamawa from North Africa. So the place was now divided between British Cameroon and French Cameroon. So the area we are talking about fell under British Cameroon. And when the International Court of Justice is saying that we need to honor the boundaries that existed between British Cameroon and French Cameroon, that whatever the debate on these areas has to be. And they say if you are going to Lake Chad, any area on the right belongs to Nigeria, just like you say. On the left belongs to Cameroon. To Cameroon. There was a plebiscite, I think, in 1961, where the people voted where they wanted to be. And many of them some decided to be in Cameroon, some voted to be in Nigeria.
Oh, we had that kind of referendum?
Yeah,
yes,
there was a plebiscite in 1961. So, for me, I don't think it is right to now begin to talk about ceding this part again to Cameroon. Of course, there are objective problems. Just like I said, those people in that area don't feel protected by the Nigerian authority. They are not treated as Nigerians. While Cameroon is trying to offer them a lot of things to give them a sense of belonging. Mm-hmm. But I think the fact of the matter is that we need to look at these issues historically, and we should avoid any diplomatic face-off. I think both countries should have respect for the ruling of the International Court of Justice so that we can resolve this problem without necessarily fighting each other.